It's been a long ride since I started playing Call of Dragons as a free-to-play player. Basically, I have been playing this game for 1050 days, which is a big achievement, right? Right behind the launch of the game, I was already here. My account is a free-to-play account. The only time I got something from the game, which is from Alliance members or friends, who basically gifted me some dragon tickets. That's it, right? And basically it's been my fourth kvk which I got my tier 5 archers, and I can honestly say that I can share all the secrets which I managed to gather all of this time while playing with the hardest troop type in the game. And I can honestly say those secrets will help all the free-to-play players to actually fight and beat spenders in Call of Dragons, right? Of course, every single season was different, but I managed to conclude what's the most important aspects, right? First of all, until we're gonna go into the secrets, you might ask where is the Lily icon if I'm free to play player. Well, basically, I found a way that I can actually show you that the amount of dragon tickets I have got in this game, and it will be easier for you to understand what's the amount which is spent on this account, right? So basically, these are the dragon tickets which I basically received on this account, and I can honestly say that from my own pocket, I have done zero, right? Of course, Ufi was the first one when I managed to get 1000 subscribers on YouTube, and of course, our dear friend, Mandrive, birthday gifts, like New Year gifts, Christmas gifts. So basically, that's the amount which is totally spent on this account, and I can honestly say that this account is performing really well, right? So that's basically what I wanted to say regarding being free-to-play player. There's a lot of alliances who are gifting the members the dragon tickets, so you just gotta choose the correct alliance, right? Basically, let's move forward to the secrets section of the video. And first of all, how you can actually perform well as a free-to-play player against pay-to-play players, because they are stronger, right? Fortunately for all the free-to-play players, this game is not one versus one duel game, right? This is mass PvP game, which means if you understand how you can fight again inside the war gameplay, which is basically the time where you have to perform well to get merits, and merits are the most important currency which free-to-play players should utilize, right? As you can see here, you have a couple of troop types, which are tanks, cavalry, archers, and mages, right? My advice is to understand how to perform well with your current troop type, which you're gonna choose as your primary, and understand what's the, like, for example, if you are archer player, you have to understand what's the range, right? If you are mage player, you have to understand you are dealing most damage with artifacts. Of course, you are having highest range, but you are really squishy. For infantry, your number one priority is to actually get most of the front line of your opponent's tank hitting you, so you're gonna deal counter-attack damage, and that's how you're gonna get merits. For cavalry, you have to maneuver around the battlefield and try to catch mages and archers, because they have the range and they are basically the slowest march speed troop types, right? This is the simple and basic secret gameplays how you can actually be a free-to-play player and still get a lot of merits, right? Whenever I was tier 4 and most of my gameplay I was tier 4 player, tier 4 archer, I was still getting 12 million merits per kvk, and it was a big achievement every single time, right? Which means, yes, in the beginning it's hard, but it's totally possible to actually make it that way. Just hide behind your alliance members, right? Every single alliance can have 200 members inside their alliance, and imagine you are fighting 100 players against 100 players. Maybe each player can get 2 or 3 march at the same time. Just follow your infantry, use your range, don't get caught. And if you understand that this game is not 1 versus 1, which means, like, if you're gonna see 200 million player, it does not mean that you are going to fight against that 200 million power player, right? And trust me, if you are a free-to-play player, most fun which you are going to get from Call of Dragons is actually during open field PvP, right? And that's the best way, right? Because I know there is some rally and garrison metas in the game, and trust me, that's not for free-to-play players, that's pay-to-play players fun, right? That's the reason why Kingdom Builder games can be fun even for free-to-play players, because you simply have to understand the gameplay which you have to play, and slowly you are going to progress in the game, and more powerful you are getting, more damage you are dealing in open field, and the more merits you are getting, right? Of course, this was important for me to explain, because sometimes we forget that this game is not 1 versus 1 duel game. You just have to be smart, right? Of course, my other secrets are basically connected to the account and how you should actually power up your account in order for you to be strong, right? As you can see, I have 2.2 million troops in my hospital. So basically, the second secret which I want to share, which is one of the biggest secrets in the game, is to understand which troop type is your main troop type, right? We have archers, we have cavalry, we have mage, we have infantry, and we have wyverns, right? Flying units in general. Basically, if you are a free-to-play player, that's the best and most important decision which you have to make as fast as possible, right? If you are mage, you are going for a League of Order and you are playing with Celestials, right? And by being mage, you have to utilize with the range and slow march speed is the problem. Of course, Lilia, Welin, such heroes, and Youngmin and Gromara are your priorities, but unfortunately, Youngmin and Gromara comes out really late, right? If you are archer, you have to know that normal archer troops are better than wyverns, and at the end of the day, your priority faction is Wilderburg, right? Which means you are focusing on your experiments to recruit as much as possible, and same you are doing for Celestials if you are mage main, right? There is another weird way for a cavalry. You can decide if you want to be Spring Warden's Flying Eagles player, which is flying cavalry. Unfortunately, their normal cavalry is ranged archers, basically. But for the cavalry, I would say you should still go for Wilderburg, right? Because the buffs and cavalry buffs which you are getting on Wilderburg is pretty nice to have for the cavalry gameplay. But if you want to have more march speed, of course, Spring Wardens is a nice choice. But it's not always about factions, right? It's always about how much army recruitment speedups you are going to have, and because it's limited for the free-to-play players, you have to utilize your priority troop types, right? In this account, I have 2.2 million tier 5 archers. Most of them are right now in the hospital, basically, and I have 1.5 million tier 4 wyverns, which in the future, of course, is going to be tier 5 wyverns, right? So I managed to prioritize my favorite troop type, which is archer. If you would be mage, you would go for mages. If you would be for infantry, you would be for infantry troops, right? Why it's important? You don't have that much resources or speed ups to have all of them, and that's how the spenders are having the control of being better than you in general, right? Because they can prioritize with the more than one troop type in the game. So basically, that's the number 2 secret, which is really important to understand at the start of the game especially, right? The number 3 secret, right, which is really important. Like Call of Dragons has many different ways how you can progress your account. Like, for example, heroes, increasing levels, awakening heroes is another way. Of course, unlocking tier 5, and that's basic. Like, we are not speaking about tier 5, right? Second one, artifacts, which is another way, not only unlocking artifacts, but also increasing the levels of the artifacts. Right now, also, we have war pets, right? War pets is another way how you can progress your account. And the newest one is, of course, the reliquary in general, the decoration, and the like city theme legion attack buffs, right? I'm gonna share my own experience, which ones are the most important, how I'm getting this amount of merits by playing only archers, which I can show you here. Now, only archers, 35 million merits, which is nice. And yeah, which are the most important progression types of Call of Dragons, right? So far, I can honestly say that my main focus have been to awaken as much heroes as possible, and basically this was my main focus. Awakening heroes, archer heroes, at the same time focusing on war pits, right? These two ways of progression of the account have been my priorities, and this is how like focusing on the heroes and war pits got me to this point, right? I know I have played this game for a long time, but still I believe it's important to share my experience, right? I have a good war pits which I put a lot of time in it, and also I have good heroes, but basically I have only good heroes for archers, right? Other than that, I have horrible heroes. I don't even focus on anything else besides archers. So only good heroes and good archers by focus only good heroes and good war pits got me to this point, right? You would say artifacts and war pits, artifacts and decorations are more important. Well, actually, this is my, like, couple of days ago, this is my first ever legendary archer artifact, which I managed to get to level 5. Simply because I was not really focusing on artifacts at all, because artifacts are most random thing in the game which we have, right? I don't even have a level 5 Shadow Blades, can you imagine? Most of the artifacts which I have level 5 is mage, and I don't even use mages, right? And Roaring Rager is level 1, Rattle Spear level 1, I got Iron Tusk level 3, so basically out of more than 1000 days of gameplay, I managed to understand what should be the priority. Priority should be to get focus on heroes, and priority should be to go focus on war pits, right? That's the secret number 3, which I should say is huge, right? Because when you understand that you can play just like me by focusing on heroes like this, of course it will get easier and easier, right? And it's a perfect segue to secret number 4. Of course, I already spoke about artifacts. Artifacts are the most random thing in the game, which will make you spend a lot, and if you are a free-to-play player, you should basically avoid spending too much on this feature of the game, right? At first, you should focus on unlocking tier 5, you should focus on increasing and awakening your legendary heroes, you should focus on war pits, and in the end, if you already are tier 5, if you have multiple awakened heroes in the game, you should start spending your gems on artifacts and Forge of Light, right? Until that, of course, Lucky Spins event is a perfect one for using the gems and the treaties and arrows purchase, but when you already have tier 5 troops and you already have multiple legendary archer or your favorite troop type heroes awakened, you can focus on this, right? That's why the third priority is artifact, right? Simply because of the addition of wish exemplar artifacts, that's why the third priority became this one, right? If it was not the case, then it would be the fourth priority, in my opinion. This is how random this feature of the game it is. But now, when you're gonna be going to the end game of Call of Dragons, I believe that you will at some point have some exemplar artifact wish unlocked. Right now I'm on 800 draws. I know I still have to do more, but unfortunately that's what it is for a free-to-play player, right? So yeah, that was my fourth or third secret, which is important, what to avoid, right? And yeah, I'm gonna say for a free-to-play players, one of the most important secret, the number one strengths which you actually have in this game if you are playing this game on a daily basis is war pits, right? Why I'm saying that? Even pay-to-pay spenders and pay-to-pay players can't really make this talent just purchase the talent to 3-star and that's it, right? I know they can do it on other skills, but even they have to grind, right? So if you are grinding just like me, you will be able to have your main troop type war pits, main talent trees, all of them basically 3-star. So Shadow Manticore 3-star, Snowpeak Rock 3-star, Barbed Manticore 3-star, and right now I'm working on Wind Weasel, which is still pretty far, right? So this is your most important thing which you can actually focus after focusing on heroes, and trust me, only this will be enough for you to be start beating even spenders, right? Because spenders are starting to spend in a many different ways in Call of Dragons, and I believe if free-to-play player understands the aspects of this game in a way that they are focusing on sometimes here, sometimes there, but mainly on the two things, you can actually start winning the fights against spenders in Call of Dragons, right? Of course, important is to understand that it won't gonna happen soon, because every single warped to be 3-star main talent tree, it will require a couple of months, not only 1 or 2, even more, right? Like more than 3 months will be required for you to catch same warpeds in Call of Dragons, and at some point maybe you will get lucky and get, for example, 2-star, and you're gonna increase 1k experience, but 4000 is the number which you kind of have to get, right? And yeah, this is the biggest secret, right? And when warped feature just came in the game, everybody was saying that well, it's just accessory. No, it's not accessory. I'm sorry, it's really important. It's like a third hero in your march, right? And yeah, by this we're gonna move to the next secret, which I believe every free-to-play player should understand, right? If you are interested in rally heroes, right? If you want to be rally leader as a free-to-play player, or if you want to be taking rallies to yourself by being garrison player or something like that, it would be my advice to never try to do that, right? Rally and garrison is basically for pay-to-pay fun, the spender's way, different way of enjoying the game. If you are a free-to-play player just like me, my advice would be to save all of the troops, because at least 1 or 2 years it won't gonna be enough for you to collect the your main troop type, the amounts that you will be using 5 marches, and trust me, different game starts when you are using 5 marches at the same time. So rallies and garrison is not your way of having fun. You will basically just destroy your own gameplay, and yeah, you will lose a lot. You will lose a lot of troops. You won't gonna have unlimited resources to heal them by resource healing, and yeah, and plus you have to invest in rally heroes and garrison heroes, and trust me, as a free-to-play player, it's better to invest in PvP heroes, and that's what I'm actually have done in my whole gameplay, right? So understanding where is not your place is of course secret which all free-to-play players have to understand, right? And finally we got to the last secret, which I have to say, all these, like for example my account, which is 99 million power, is not gettable in 1 or 2 months, right? It's impossible to create this type of account as a free-to-play player if you are not going to be committed, if you don't like to grind. I know sometimes Call of Dragons requires a lot of time, but if your schedule is in a way that you can be online in the most crucial times while fighting, and you are basically enjoying the game, and you can put this game in your schedule, I believe grind will be a happy place. Of course, plus if you are in a good alliance, it will get even better, right? That's why my account is more than 1000 days old, which is the reason why I got so many legendary heroes awakened, so many legendary artifacts, and so many good warpeds, right? This is the way I can show you that if you're gonna focus on your gameplay, and if you are basically playing same game for a lot of years and lot of months, you are going to be getting a lot of good rewards in the back, right? I'm never gonna say that you are going to defeat spenders in 1 versus 1 duels, but trust me, in some occasions you are going to actually do it if they don't know what they are actually doing, right? This is the reason why Call of Dragons gameplay is better than any other Kingdom Builders gameplay, because you are actually controlling, and skill sometimes and most of the time matter. whenever you are fighting in open field PvP, even against spenders, right? So yeah, hopefully all of my secrets, which I always want to share as long as I'm actually understanding more about the game, is from my own experience. And trust me, if I manage to do all of this, which means every single player can get what I have done on this account, right? I hope all these secrets will be helpful, and if it was, press like, subscribe, share. It gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.